You are listening to the Tricast Gaming Podcast.
Greetings and welcome everyone to episode number 6 of the Tricast Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Philip Keeney, and I am joined tonight by the roguishly handsome Mike Martinez.
Hello.
And we're calling you still the newly moved Adam Garcia. It's still pretty new. Welcome to the show.
Hello, how you doing? Hello.
I'm doing excellent tonight, guys. I'm excited about the show. I'm really excited. I think we got a great show in store for everybody tonight. But I am a little bit tired this week. So we had a lot of stuff happening at work. I feel like I talk about this like every week. It has been one of the most insane 2-month periods that I've had at work for a long time. But Monday, I sat down at my desk on Monday at 8 a.m. and I worked continuously except for lunch, dinner, and bedtime when I read to my girls until 3 o'clock Tuesday morning. It was like something like a 20-hour day. And it's thrown me off because, like I was telling y'all earlier, that I stayed up really late writing the show last night. Well, it's because I got my schedule's all thrown off. I couldn't sleep. Mm-hmm. So it's been rough this week. But how are you guys doing?
That is some dedication, man.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot better than you. I'm getting some rest.
Yeah, I guess it's, there's positive and negatives to having, a really nice salary job. Positives are it's a really nice salary. Negatives are you've expected to work until your shit's done.
Yeah.
So such is the way of things. But man, I'm really excited for the show tonight. Mike, what do you got going on this week?
So earlier I follow Sea of Thieves on Twitter. And there's some people were posting some tattoos they got of a video game, like of Sea of Thieves, like some of like that their emblem. And I was curious, is there a game that you guys love that much where you get it tattooed on your person?
So I thought about this recently because I've seen a couple pretty cool video game tattoos. I don't personally have any tattoos, although I've kind of considered, a lot of people like to get the little tattoo around your ring finger so that you don't have to wear a wedding band all the time. And I've kind of thought about doing that.
Right.
But I don't know. If it was anything, I'd probably have to go to my first, true video game love, and that was Master Chief. I think that's probably what I would do if I was going to get a tattoo. Now, I don't think I would just get a tattoo of Master Chief's face, but I don't know, maybe like a John 117 or something like that on my forearm or something. Maybe a little bit discreet, but if I was going to do video games, that's probably what I would do. Now, the one that I saw that was really cool, because we've talked about The Last of Us Part 2 recently. If you remember, in The Last of Us Part 2. Ellie has a really cool tattoo on her forearm, and I've seen some people get that in real life, and I think that's pretty neat. I think that's a little bit cooler than just I got Master Chief's face tattooed on my butt cheek. Like there's this in-game item that's really neat. That is a tattoo, and that is something you can get on yourself. What about you, Mike?
I would it'll be WoW, and it might be just the simple old Alliance emblem, just because that's what I played majority of the time. I have switched to Horde every once in a while, but Alliance is like my go-to faction if I wanted to start playing again. So it'd be the Alliance symbol, probably like on my arm somewhere, I guess. I don't know where I would put it, but it would definitely be an Alliance symbol.
That's your
Adam, are you there?
Yes, I am back.
Okay. Did you hear my question?
No, like all I heard was Philip say, "Mike, how has everything been?" And it just got silent. I was like, Mike," and I was like, "Hello, am I alone?" No. And then I just saw everything saying, "Lost connection to the server, attempting to reconnect," and I was like,
Hey guys, everybody listening to the show, listen, we don't have like super awesome editing software yet, so you get to see and hear. I guess you're not really seeing, but you get to hear our technical glitches live. So,
yes.
Maybe I offended Adam's software there by insinuating he was newly moved again. But Mike,
Yeah.
Gotta
No,
love
but
Sudden
I was
Mike.
I was asking if you were to get a tattoo of like a video game that you've played that you really liked, if you would get it or not.
No, I would not.
No, just no tattoos in general, huh?
Nope.
Are you scared
do
of
not-
needles?
Yes, definitely.
Oh,
But I
Okay,
have
but if you-
always said that if I were to get a tattoo, it would be of an elephant and it would be on my crotch.
oh my God.
Because technically it would be a 3D tattoo.
Oh my gosh, Adam. Okay.
for the briefest of moments, I didn't get it.
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
That's what I've
God.
always said, and that usually kept people from asking me again. So that's why I say
Oh.
that.
I will not
That's-
ask you about a tattoo ever again. So I can keep that image out of my brain.
Yeah, no, thank you. I was thinking you'd say like a Korok seed or a Super Mario Moon or something. You know,
Mm-hmm.
No.
you
No,
should
no.
get
Okay.
you should get a Mario Moon for every moon you've collected in
No.
Mario Odyssey.
My God. I would
And
look like those
tattoo them
people
on
those
your
magazine
fingertips.
covers. Ew. Which that's actually kind of funny because when I was in junior high, I used to draw scales all over my hands. And so like from the ends of my fingernails all the way down to my wrist, my hands look scaly.
Scale like weight scales.
I'm thinking you mean
No.
like fish scales.
More like lizard scales, I guess, in a way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, okay. Wow, that just went right over my. I'm like, why are you drawing weight scales on your fingers? That's a weird thing.
That way I can just
Okay.
crunch my finger every time and
That
make
makes-
it work out.
That makes 100% more sense.
So have you
100%.
seen
Okay.
have you seen that Lizard Man guy?
Lizard man.
Yeah, that dude that like
Mark
tried to make him-
Zuckerberg?
No, the dude
Oh.
that tried to make himself look like a lizard. Like he's got tattoos all like he tattooed scales
Oh,
all
Oh
over
yeah,
his
yeah.
body.
I've seen
And he
that.
forked his tongue too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen
Oh
that.
yeah.
A little freaky.
yeah,
A little weird.
freaky.
Yeah.
A little bit weird. Oh man, yeah. I think I've seen him in like a wax museum or something. They had a thing of him.
Why would they waste space on that?
I guess it was. Well, no, it was like a Guinness Book of Records exhibit within the wax
Oh,
museum. So
okay.
I think that's why.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
absolutely. But Adam, now that you're back with us, I believe you were telling us that you had a little bit of a miscue at the Burger King. What happened?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I went to Burger King, my wife, after I got out of church, because I do church on Thursdays right before we do this. And
Mhm.
so I have like an hour to eat, relax, and then I get on this. So I asked Shelly, what do you want to do for dinner? And she's like, well, let's get Burger King. And I'm like, okay, I'll get on the way home. And I go to Burger King and I read off what she wants, which is the chicken sandwich, extra mayonnaise packets, large fries, large water. And then I get my stuff, which is a triple meat Whopper, which apparently they don't have that combo anymore. You have to get a double meat, add an extra patty.
Yeah. They don't.
And I said, I want a triple meat Whopper meal with large
Mhm.
fries and a large Coke. And I looked at the screen, everything was right. And then the time that it took to go from the order part all the way to the pay part, something happened. And so I
Uh-oh.
got a chicken sandwich, plain, no extra mayonnaise or anything. I got the large fries and a large water because they didn't have Dr. Pepper. And I only got my burger.
I mean, that's not even
Okay.
close to correct.
No, it's not. And then I was like, was I supposed to get a Coke? I was like, didn't I asked for a Coke? And they're like, oh, I only charged you for a water. And I'm like,
gosh.
okay. And I'm tired at this point, and I just want to get home. So I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. And then,
Well, at least you didn't get charged for it.
yeah, but it's not. It's the principle of the thing.
He's like, I wanted a. And where did you get both fries? Because you said you ordered fries for Shelly and yourself. Did you only get one fry?
I only got one.
Oh my gosh, that's some
Mm.
bullshit. Yeah.
So
Oh,
let's
gosh.
go ahead and pay, like you said, Philip. Let's go ahead and pay these people $15 an hour because they are the best at their job in the nation.
I mean, guys, back when I was in college, before I started working at Lowe's, I worked food. I did the, what was it called? Stangel Merdeau, I think, was the dormitory hall, and I worked in the cafeteria area there. And I got to tell you, doing food, I mean, it's a rough little job, but it is excessively simple in what you need to do. I mean, excessively simple. I mean, there is no thinking about it. I'm not saying it's an easy job in terms of like it. I mean, I would get wore out, and I got tired of smelling like grease and things like that. And that's when I found the chance to go work at Lowe's. I was glad to take it, but there is no complexity in what you do. You know, you look at the screen and it tells you right there on the screen what you need to do, and you just put it together, wrap it up, and send it out. I mean, I don't know. That blows my mind. But I don't know.
Yep.
Adam, I'm sorry that you didn't quite get the dinner that you wanted tonight, but we have an excellent show. So let's get into it. Guys, each and every week, we get together to channel our virtues through the Triforce to provide you all the latest news and general thoughts from the mythical world of video games. We are new and doing this entirely of our own entertainment, simply because we love video games. If you like what you hear, please consider leaving us a like and a review on your podcasting app of choice. And if you really enjoy it, please consider sharing on social media and the like to your friends. You can find us on Twitter at Tricast Gaming P1 and on Facebook at Tricast Gaming Podcast, or finally at our website, tricastgamingpodcast.com. Please DM us on Twitter or Facebook with your questions. We'd love to hear them. We will absolutely read them out on the show next week or whenever you submit your question. Now, real quick, before I get into everything else, I've got a couple corrections. I like to listen to our shows every week, and I'm hoping that eventually some of you listeners will write in and let us know when we screw things up, and then we can bring you into this correction section. But I recognized a couple things that I screwed up last week. So I want to set the record straight. The Last of Us Part 2 released on June 19th, not in May, like I said. It's not 3 months old. It's 2 months old at this point. June 19th was when The Last of Us Part 2 released. And then second of all, the Leaf Guy collectibles that we so haplessly refer to about in Breath of the Wild are actually called Korok seeds. So those are our two corrections for the week. As always, I'm sure there's more that I missed. If you hear them, please write in, and I will be happy to correct my mistakes. All right, let's get into what we are playing. Adam, I'm going to start with you because I am so excited about the fact that you have a fucking video game on here to talk about. Roller Coaster Tycoon. Let me hear it.
Yeah, have you ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon? It's a very old game.
I have not played. The closest thing I played to something like this is Theme Hospital on the PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay. Okay, the first time I played this was back in like early 2000s, maybe 99, 98, something like that. Well, I have it on Steam because it was part of this like Extra Life humble bundle download thing that you pay for, and I was like, cool. And so I downloaded it, and I haven't really sat down to play it. And then I was sitting at my computer, and I got mostly everything the way I wanted to. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play something because I'm tired of thinking. I just want to do something mindless. And so I started playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I was immediately brought back to my old room when I was in junior high. And I was like, man, this brings back some good memories. And basically, all you do is you build roller coasters, and inside a theme park you have different challenges. Like the first challenge, you have to raise the popularity up to a certain level and have so much income before the first year is over. And so that's kind of like to get your feet wet. And when I was in junior high, I found all these cheat codes. And specifically, like if you name the guests a specific name, they'll do different things. Like if you name, like let's say John, everyone around him will start puking. If you name another one Jane, everyone around that person will start eating ice cream. Different things like that. What I can't find now that I did find back then was that if you named it a specific name, I guess this was a notorious bomber that like he went across the nation and bombed like different theme parks or something like that. If you put that name in one of the characters, he will go to one of your roller coasters and that thing will explode.
This game was made in a very, very different time.
Yeah, it was very different. And like it tripped me out because I was like, wait, I remember doing this. Like, why is the name not there anymore? And then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. We're in 2020. Things are not the same anymore.
Is this? I think I remember playing this game. I don't know if it was this game exactly, but can you design the roller coasters to have like catastrophic failures and just end up killing people?
Yes.
Yes. I would intentionally break the roller coasters. It's quite.
There's one called the shuttle loop. I don't know if you remember that. It's just like a specific launch and gravity thing where it launches you at 60 miles an hour and it loops and it goes up and it reverses and goes back to the dock. Well, I put it at the shortest level that I could on the elevation. And I set that thing up to 120 miles an hour. And it launched out of bounds and then it killed like whoever was on the ride. And I was like, ooh, excellent. Like I was having so much fun. And
you made a death machine.
Yes, I did. And what's funny is that every time I built it in the same theme park over and over again, people would pay for that.
Wow.
Yeah. I got $20 per person on the thing. So I'd make $100 off of a $5,000 machine that I had to keep building.
Great investment.
Great.
Diminishing returns there. Awesome. Roller Coaster Tycoon, guys. You can go get people to pay to shoot themselves to the stars.
And you can, like, if, like, people obviously have to go to the bathroom, right? You have to build bathrooms. And you can make people pay to go into a bathroom.
That's fantastic.
I would not go to that
it's
theme park.
Scummy. But it's fantastic.
That reminds me, I used to live overseas in Europe for a little bit, and there was a time where you had to pay 10 cents per packet of ketchup you got at McDonald's.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So then my mom would be like, well, you can only get 2. And I'd be like, 2 is not enough for a large fry. What is wrong?
No. Not nearly enough.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome. All right, Mike, I see Rocket League, I see Apex. We've talked about both of those games. Do you have anything new to add to them this week?
No, I still actually on Rocket League I started playing ones again, and like I'm starting to get back into it because like at first when I really got back into Rocket League I was just sucking so bad in 1v1, but now I'm kind of getting my skill back, so now I'm almost to platinum in 1v1s, which is insane. And like today, before we started recording, I was like, I'm gonna do a few games of ranked 1v1. And as you know, like my Rocket League, like when I play on my computer, the internet connection will drop randomly. So like I was behind, I caught up, we tied 3-3. Overtime started. As soon as overtime started, internet drop.
Oh, that's so
it put the cars ready for kickoff. And then all of a sudden I see that dang red blinking indicator. I'm like, oh no. And then it lasted just long enough for him to hit the ball over me. And he won.
That's some epicness. Speaking of Rocket League, Connor and I have been, my brother Connor, I think we'll have to have him on the show one of these days. But we've been playing the last couple nights. You tried to stay up last night, but I was too tired. But he stayed on and we played a little bit more. I had been down all the way almost out of Platinum 3. I was Plat 3 Division 1. I am now back to Diamond 1 Division 2. So I don't know what to take from this, but apparently if I play with Connor, we're good. But
so just if you're with me and Tyler, it's just going to be
you and Tyler
straight rock drop.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to take from this. Maybe it's the fact that we have to get that rando third, and every once in a while we get a really good guy. I don't know.
Good guy, yeah.
I got a story to tell whenever you're done with that thought, Philip.
No, go for it.
There was a point in time whenever me and Mike were playing Rocket League, and I was like, okay, you handle the ball, I'll handle the goal in case somebody tries to score. And we spent that entire match on their side of the field. And I'm over here like kind of like going forward, going backwards, going forward, going backwards so I don't time out. And not once did that ball come towards me. And when the game was over, here's the thing. When the game was over, those two players decided to get on chat and it's like, good game, Roguebox. Not Firstborn, but Roguebox.
Yeah.
I like to troll sometimes when it's like obvious one guy is like carrying a team. I like to,
Yeah.
GG, whatever that guy's name is. Sometimes if I'm frustrated, I've been that guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, I've had my moments where I get some like crazy stuff happens. Like it's on YouTube, like where I broke somebody's ankles, and it was like one of the most epic goals that I've ever scored. And before the replay hit, he left the match, and so you didn't see him get his ankles broken in that.
That sucks.
What an asshole. That's like reverse trolling. All right. So so I've also still been playing Destroy All Humans remake. I'm not finished it yet. I don't really have too many other thoughts to it yet. I mean, I feel the same that I felt about it when we first spoke about it. But what I really want to talk about is Battletoads. And now I know we talked about Battletoads a little bit last week, but I have finished the game and you have started it. So I want to hear what you think about it now.
I've really been enjoying it. I played it just to get the Sea of Thieves reward, the whole like ship set. But I told you last night, I don't think I told Adam, but I started the game unintentionally at the hardest setting. So like if my toad gets hit twice, I die. So like I'm just like I'm juggling toads left, right, and center to try to stay alive. So I can't really like pull off any cool combos because like as soon as like have an opportunity, like I'm gonna die. And I'll have to reset. But yeah, I finished the first act finally today. But yeah, it's really enjoyable. I like the variety of like the styles in each toad. That like I really enjoy playing with. I forget what the big one is. What Zitz? Is that his name?
It's Rash, Pimple, and Zitz.
It's Pimple. It's Pimple. Pimple's the big one. Yeah, but he is the hardest hitter, and like. All I do with him is I just like gather them all in a corner and just punch until like they just are stuck. So I just do that.
My preferred character was, I think it was Zitz. He's the smaller blue one, right?
And he's like insanely fast, right?
Yeah,
like
I like speed in games, just in general. So yeah, he definitely was the one that I typically gravitated towards. But you are correct; they do have 3 quite different play styles, and due to the way. What you're referring to about juggling between the different characters is that when one would go down, you'd be forced to swap to the other one, and the one that went down would be on a timer for like 15 seconds or something before they respawn. Yeah. And so you really do get forced to play with all 3 different characters as you're going through the game. And I actually really like that. You know, sometimes
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, sometimes it frustrates me when I get forced to play a character I don't like as much. But I think it added a lot of variety to the beat 'em up combat, and in some ways, you know, I think my biggest complaint, I like the short game, but I think that it would have done well with a 5th act and just about maybe another hour or hour and a half of content there in the story. And I think maybe they didn't have the confidence in their beat 'em up combat to make players play another hour of it, but I thought it was pretty good. You know, especially because, I mean, you haven't got there, but basically the whole second half of the game, you really don't do beat 'em up levels anymore. So by the time you get to like Act 5, it would have been perfect to go back to that a little bit. So, but yeah, I think, I mean, maybe it's a little bit of a spoiler. So I'm going to go ahead and give an alert. You know, if you don't want to hear what happens in some of the later acts, not in terms of story, but just in terms of some of the secrets maybe, or the cool things that happen in the game, turn off right now for like 15-20 seconds. But in Act 3, you had your warning. So in Act 3, you it turns into like a Space Invader game for part of it, and then into a platformer for part of it, and you swap back and forth doing like Space Invader levels and platforming levels.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's really neat. There's a little bit different stuff. We're done talking about spoilers. A little bit different stuff all throughout the game. I think it keeps it fresh, but my playtime was 4.5 hours, and I think it could have done with just a little bit more content in there. But overall, I loved it.
I would agree there. What I really love is like the flow between like how you can transition from one toad to another. I mean, because I've been having to do that a lot since it's freaking hard. But it's so seamless the way everybody comes in, and you can just kind of pick right up on your smashing of faces without missing a beat.
Yeah,
I just think they did a great job of transitioning from toad to toad.
Yeah, and I think it's animated really well. The combat is really well
Yeah.
animated. I
Oh
think
yeah.
it looks
Oh yeah.
really good on the TV. Very much a Saturday morning cartoon type look to
Hmm.
it. So,
Yeah.
as we said before, Game Pass. This game's on Game Pass. If you have it, you can download it. If not, I think it's like $30 for this game.
Hmm.
Go check out Battletoads.
Surely they'll release some DLC with it later on. You think? Surely, a little something.
Maybe that'd be neat. I'd be absolutely up for that.
Yeah.
All right, let us get into our newsreel for this week. It's actually a little bit of a shorter newsreel for this week, so hopefully it'll go fairly quickly, and then we can get into the meat of Gamescom after this. So let's start. Number one, DC Fandom was this past weekend, and they put out reveal trailers for both Rocksteady and Warner Brothers' new games. Number one, Rocksteady's new game, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, will launch on PS5 and Xbox Series X sometime in 2022. They confirmed that this is just a next-gen only game. The announcement trailer is surprisingly colorful, and it is set in a metropolis that has been turned into a little bit of a war zone. It can be played as a single-player game or in multiplayer with 4-person team online. You'll be joined by bots if you're on your own. I don't know how I feel about that little piece there, but we'll talk about that in a second. You're never locked to any single character either, meaning you can switch between them as and when you like. The 4 playable characters they announced was Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark, in a story that pitches this team of misfits and villains with bombs in their head to make them do good things against DC's greatest superheroes. Now, in the trailer, Superman pops up, and there's definitely a little something fucked up going on with Superman, so I don't know what's happening there. Obviously, somebody's either controlling them, or there's you never know with these comic books. There could be some kind of clone of Superman out there. Who knows what's going on? I guess we'll find out a little bit closer to the game. David Haddad, the Rocksteady president, said that the experience will combine masterful storytelling with compelling gameplay. Now, the second game they announced, Gotham Knights from Warner Brothers Montreal, this will launch on PS4 and PS5 and Xbox One and Xbox Series X. So this is a cross-platform game sometime in 2021. In this new game, Bruce Wayne is incapacitated and his gang of sidekicks are thrust into the spotlight. They kind of try to suggest that Bruce Wayne has been killed in an explosion. I highly doubt that's actually true, but that's the story start premise of the game. This is a drop-in, drop-out co-op experience, which can be played either solo or in 2-player, where you'll assume the roles of Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, or Batgirl. You can change between them as you want, and you can actually play as 2 Batgirls or 2 Nightwings. If you're playing with a co-op friend, you guys don't have to pick separate characters. You can be whoever you want to be. You will work from the Belfry as your hub of operations and earn XP, level up, and make each of your character your own. I read that there will be customizability in your gear loadout in terms of your costume, as well as your weapons and your abilities that you have. So even 2 Batgirls may not necessarily look the same. Now, before we get into this a little bit, we got our first listener question from Kyle Greenhaw. He wrote into us and said, "Been enjoying listening to the show each week at work on Monday mornings. With the DC Fandom being this past weekend, what are y'all's thoughts on the Batman Arkham series going co-op multiplayer rather than sticking to its roots as a single-player story?" Mike, let's get your thoughts on this one first. What do you have to say to Kyle?
I think I'm really looking forward to it because, like, anytime I would play Arkham games, like, I thought it'd be great if I could have someone else in here like bashing these guys' heads in. But it just that's like few and far between though. Like, I still prefer like the solo, like kind of sneak up on them my way. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be like if I'm gonna bring someone down, it's gonna be just for like a boss fight or something. So I don't really think I will be doing a lot of co-op unless y'all just need help doing something. But for me, on my personal playthrough, I want to do as much of it by myself as I can, and then maybe like go back and do some stuff that might be fun co-op wise. But I think it'd be really cool to join in on other people's games.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam, what are your thoughts here?
Honestly, I'm kind of excited about it because, like, in a franchise, it's good to evolve, if you ask me. Like, it can't just be the same thing over and over again because it gets stale. But I mean, I agree sticking with the roots is important, but sticking with the roots and then implementing new things at the same time is also good. So I mean, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So I think if I'm trying to jump to the root here, Kyle, of what you're getting at, is that you're worried that maybe there will be a little bit less focus on the story, and the emerging story that can happen in gameplay as you're playing by yourself. Maybe they'll move towards something like a Destiny or a Borderlands thing where it's more focused on the co-op gameplay. I feel like that's not what's happening here. So hopefully, I can try to put your mind at ease a little bit here. They've said that both of these stories are completely playable by yourself, and especially in the Suicide Squad game, David Haddad, he said that his hope is to combine masterful storytelling with compelling gameplay. So they're hitting on the storytelling aspect of these games right from the start with their early press releases. So I think that they understand that people really enjoy the stories that are told by these games. And this is just opening up a new way for you to experience it with a friend, or several friends in the case of Kill the Justice League. And I think, for me, I'm always looking for stuff to play with my brother and with my dad. So I think this could be really cool. It says it's drop in, drop out. So I think what concerns me there is if there's no way to sort of progress the story together, such that, like, if Connor and I were playing one night and we made 3 story missions, if he then goes into log in his game and he's got to redo those 3 story missions, that could be a bit of a bummer. So we'll have to see how they implement it to know how well it will go. But if your chief concern, Kyle, is just that, they'll move away from the story and it won't be as strong, I don't think you'll have to worry. I think this game is going to be just fine in terms of a cool story to tell. And if you don't want to play it with anybody else, I think you're going to have no issues running through the game by yourself. So,
and they even said that it was not going to be a games. Was it? I can never remember the
games as a service.
Yes,
they did.
Yeah,
yeah, they did specifically say these will not be games as service. So you're not looking at a Destiny here.
We have enough of those types of games anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
All right, so the only other thing I wanted to say about these 2 new games is that later on they confirmed that Gotham Knights is not a part of the Arkham universe. This is its own separate new storyline that they're bringing up off the ground, and they played that little coy bit that don't expect this to be the only game in this series. They're starting up a new series, Gotham Knights. This will not be the only one. Possibly its own trilogy of games, like the original Arkham series. Now, Justice League is an Arkham game. They said it is in the Arkham universe, but like I said, it's set in Metropolis, not Gotham. So it'd be interesting to see how they tie all that together.
Right.
Okay. Mike, Adam, anything else that you would like to say about the reveals of these 2 games?
Nope.
No, but I am looking forward to the movies they showed.
Yes.
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 Those should be good. I think if I were to pick the one that's jumped out the most to me so far, actually, of these 2 games, is the Gotham Knights game. I think that one actually, I think that
Same
one
here.
stood out a little bit more to me, although it was pretty clear that as pretty as it looked, it is a cross-gen title. So that will be a little bit disappointing. Expect Justice League to look considerably better than these of these 2 games. All right, let's move on to item number 2. News item number 2. Activision has unveiled Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War during an in-game event inside Call of Duty Warzone. It will launch on PS4 and Xbox One on November 13th, and a next-gen upgrade will be available if you purchase the cross-gen bundle, which costs $10 more. So look for Activision to raise its prices for next gen games. Probably going to be $70 moving forward on next gen consoles, not the typical $60 that we're used to seeing. It will have a campaign, the traditional multiplayer suite of options, and an extensive zombies mode. The worldwide reveal of multiplayer will take place on 9th of September 2020. 9th of September 2020. I almost said 2021. I don't know why I would have said that. The story is a direct sequel to Call of Duty Black Ops, and we'll talk about this a little bit later because they showed a cool story trailer in the Gamescom showcase today. Mike, any thoughts here on this one?
Yes. Did y'all? I guess y'all don't play Warzone, but I was watching a streamer play the that event that they did, and it was like the coolest thing because it was like Warzone, which is a battle royale game type, and they dropped you in, and you were already loaded out, and it sent you on like objectives to do within this game type, and it was really, I love the way they did it, and they kind of implemented the trailer as you were completing the event. So like after the event was done, it kind of transitioned to the trailer, and I just thought it was really, really cool in how they did that. And I hope like other games start doing that. Like Destiny did that with the Rasputin event, and
yeah, I've seen
just
Fortnite
the way they
do this as well with some
stuff. With the black hole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just thought it was really cool. And also, if I buy this game, it'll only be because they've let you play as Ronald Reagan in the zombies mode.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually pointed to the fact that Ronald Reagan was in the story reveal trailer as being something that got me kind of hyped, weirdly enough. I think I kind of like the idea of these like clandestine groups being that close to the president, and then the president directing them to do these kinds of things. Kind of hyped me up. But yeah, definitely a really cool way to reveal the release date and such for Black Ops Cold War coming this November, November 13th. In fact, remember that date. We're gonna come back to it later on. So, number 3, Nintendo shadow dropped another Direct Mini. This time, it's a partner showcase. It's only 11 minutes, and there really isn't much here. Highlights: Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 is arriving on Switch December 8th. Just Dance 2021 was announced for Switch and launches on November 12th. Later on, it was confirmed also for PS4 and Xbox One. The collection of Saga brings the Final Fantasy Legend trilogy to Switch on December 15th. Rocky comes to Switch in Big Rumble Boxing Creed Champions, arriving in spring 2021. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory arrives on November 13th. It is a rhythm action game and will feature an exclusive free-for-all mode on Nintendo Switch. So yeah, this game is also not just on Switch. It's also on the PlayStation and Xbox. And then finally, Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythmic Adventure Pack brings 2 3DS drummers to Switch in winter 2020. They didn't give an exact date. They just said winter 2020. So nothing too exciting there, except maybe a Puyo Puyo Tetris or Just Dance if you're really into that series of games. All right, number 4, Crytek have revealed that Crysis Remastered will launch on September 18th. The 2007 game is being ported to modern consoles by Saber Interactive and boasts a bunch of visual upgrades, including I saw they're going to implement ray tracing even on the PlayStation 4 Pro. So that's kind of interesting. It will launch on PC, Xbox One, and PS4 for $30. Note, it is already available on the Nintendo Switch if you'd like to play it there. It came out on July 23rd on the Nintendo Switch. All right, number 5, 2K has detailed the final piece of DLC for Borderlands 3. That is included in its Season Pass, and it is titled Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck. Say that 10 times fast. It will come to PS4 and Xbox One on September 10th. The expansion will include new story content and a level cap increase to 65. Borderlands is a fun game. I played the first and the prequel, whatever they call that weird interstitial game. I played those 2 with Connor. We had a lot of fun. I sometimes wish that maybe we gave this one a shot, but I think it might have passed us for the time being. Number 6, Sega has confirmed that Yakuza Like a Dragon will launch on Xbox One on November 13th, and for Series X on day one of the console's launch. This will be a console launch exclusive for Xbox, with a PS5 version coming at a later date. So, Call of Duty, November 13th. Yakuza Like a Dragon, November 13th. Are they starting to signal the launch date for these consoles? Keep that one in mind. I think we should start circling that week, the week of November 13th through, well, I guess it'd be November 12th through November 17th. I think that's when we're going to see these new consoles. But I saw a really funny meme earlier that said you will arrive home in November with your console and then get a call from your debtor telling you just how much you owe for those consoles, because Xbox and Sony will still have not told you how much they're going to cost. Here we are.
There's just a $1,000 hold on your credit card.
Exactly.
Good
Here
Lord.
we are, literally just a few days from the end of August, and still nothing on release date or price for either of these consoles. Ladies and gentlemen, this is completely unprecedented. This has never happened before. I don't know what they're doing. If they weren't so insistent in so many interviews over the last couple weeks that these consoles will launch this fall or this holiday, I would seriously believe that they weren't. But I mean, they keep saying they're coming. We shall see. I mean, surely these pre-orders, these release dates, these prices will be out soon. We shall see.
Do you think they're just waiting on each other? Like, is that what like? Are they just playing chicken right now?
I mean,
playing price chicken.
I said that early on one of our first episodes, but I don't even know that is true anymore. I mean, at a certain point, you're just hurting yourself to not say the price. There's been tons and tons and tons of leaks. They keep saying the same: $499 for the PS5, the $499 for the Series X, the $399 for the discless PS5, and then some people starting to rumor $349 for the Xbox Series S, which hasn't even actually been announced yet. So I don't know what is going to happen. I wait with... Well, I'm not holding my breath waiting for this one, because
you would pass out.
Right.
I'd pass out.
Yeah.
All right. Number 7, Sony has confirmed that the next title from Hello Games, this is the studio that put out No Man's Sky. If you remember this game, more for its controversy than how good it was, or at least became, will release tomorrow. So this game is coming out of nowhere. The release date coming out of nowhere. It is titled The Last Campfire. It was first revealed at the Game Awards in 2018. That game will be out tomorrow. Actually, it's probably today, because I wrote this yesterday. So if you'd like to try out The Last Campfire, go check it out on Sony Store or on Xbox Store. It's available in both places. Number 8, September's PS Plus games have been announced. Subscribers will get Street Fighter V and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds for free starting on September 1. And September's Xbox games with gold have also been announced. Subscribers will get the following: Tom Clancy's The Division all through September, the Book of Unwritten Tales from September 16th to October 15th, and then the 360 games De Blob 2 from September 1 through 15, and Armed and Dangerous from September 16 through 30. All right, our next news item: independent developer Certain Affinity has announced today. Again, I wrote this yesterday. So announced yesterday that it's working with 343 Industries on the development of Halo Infinite. The statement reads as follows: Today, we're proud to reveal Certain Affinity's partnership with 343 Industries on Halo Infinite. Our team has been working closely with 343 since December of last year. Let's come back to that in a minute. Continuing a long history of collaboration between the two studios, working on multiple Halo titles dating back to 2006. Led by Max Hoberman, Certain Affinity's founder and president, who served as the former multiplayer and online lead for the Halo series, the past 14 years have bonded into an incredible partnership across the series, and we are excited to continue our outstanding work together. Halo Infinite has huge long-term ambitions while also giving a respectful nod to the franchise's past. This is an exciting combination. Given our deep roots and long-time connections to the series, we couldn't be more excited to help 343 realize this vision. So December, huh? So Certain Affinity has helped with Halo for a long time, going back to I think some of the original Mac packs with Halo 2. So these guys are involved with multiplayer aspects of the game. So coming on last December, that's not that long ago. I'm intrigued to see what they're working on them with. If they're saying that this Halo Infinite is going to be a platform for the future, they talked about this being the last Halo game for around 10 years. So they're definitely looking to make this somewhat of a platform to build on. I'm intrigued really to see what's happening here. We just heard that Halo Infinite's delayed. We've now hearing that Certain Infinity's involved in it. There's another story that I didn't even link in here about new creative leads coming over from other big studios within the Microsoft family to come help get this game to the finish line. Man, I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit worried. But they've already delayed it. If they got to delay it for a year to make this thing right, then at this point, please do.
Why not?
I don't want a garbage Halo Infinite.
Right. Yeah, same here.
Okay.
We want them to succeed.
We absolutely would love them to succeed. Okay, next story. This is our second to last story, actually. Switch Pro rumors are heating up again. Bloomberg's Takashi Mochizuki, I butchered that, I'm sure, has corroborated the report from Taiwanese newspaper United Daily News, stating that he has confirmed the report of a new Switch with people briefed on the strategy. He says that the specifications of the new machine have yet to be finalized, though the Kyoto-based company has looked into including more computing power and 4K high-definition graphics. He adds that the launch of the new system would be coupled with or followed by a slew of games from Nintendo itself and related outside studios, and that these games would address a wide range of players, from casual gamers seeking small doses of escapism to more devoted fans putting in marathon gaming sessions. I don't really know why that's important to tell us. This focus on next year explains the relatively quiet software slate for 2020. I don't know why I keep wanting to say 2021 tonight. What is wrong with me, guys?
It's like Suicide Squid.
Suicide Squid in 2021, even though Suicide Squad is actually coming out in 2022. Anyway, the rumors are up again. A Switch Pro, this has been talked about for a long time. I am near certain it's going to happen. It's interesting that they're talking about 4K graphics. I mean, would this just be a Switch 2, or do you think they're going to make it like an inter-console generation bump? What do you believe is happening with this thing?
I think it's just going to be what they did with the Xbox. Was that one called? Xbox One X?
Yeah, Xbox One X.
It's just kind of like just a little bump of the current gen.
Yeah, more than likely.
I can't imagine 4K graphics on that little screen. Or if they even get it, what would the battery life of this thing be? Like an hour?
All right,
like 5 minutes.
It's the new the Sega Game Gear.
Yeah, no kidding.
You need 9 batteries.
14
just to
double
get
A's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, personally, I think Nintendo's got to put something out this fall in terms of game software. They can't hold everything for this thing. And I'd be even more frustrated if they held a bunch of stuff for this thing and then we're like, oh yeah, it's like the new 3DS X or whatever that thing was called, where, if you want to play Majora's Mask, you have to buy the new 3DS. I'm going to be real ticked off if they do some bullshit like that. So we'll see what happens. If it's just an optional upgrade, all the games still work. I'll be excited to see what Nintendo can do next with their little handheld console. All right, our final story. Netflix has released Making the Witcher, a behind-the-scenes special exploring the story behind The Witcher's fantasy world of magic and monsters. The Witcher's official Twitter account shared a trailer for the new Netflix original documentary, which offers an exclusive backstage look into the production of the live-action series adaptation starring Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia, the titular monster hunter. Both The Witcher 3 and this TV show were fantastic. If you haven't played or watched what's going on with The Witcher, I definitely recommend it.
So even if you haven't played the game, it'd still be entertaining Like I've never played Witcher, so would I enjoy that show?
I don't know. Did you like the Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Do
Yes, I
you
did.
like fantasy swordplay with crazy looking monsters?
That's very, very true.
Do you like a cool hero who kind of doesn't give a fuck about anything else and just kind of does his own thing?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, I think you'll be fine. I think you should check this out.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah, I really really like the show. I think they did a great job. There's a couple really cool sword fights in it that I really liked.
Cool.
So definitely check it out. This one's actually more based off of some of the earlier Witcher games, not specifically Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is I think takes place beyond when this show is supposed to take place. Or there's like a weird time split thing going on with the show, so maybe part of it is taking place in the same universe or the same time frame as Witcher 3, but most of it takes place before it. So, and I haven't played Witcher 1 or 2, so I've only played The Witcher 3, and I enjoyed this show. Okay, that's all the news we have for this week. Let's move on to topics of the show. I had originally put Gamescom opening night here as number 1 because I thought that it was going to be a little bit, shall we say, more interesting than I found it in the end. So because I'm a little tired of talking and because Gamescom was not as jaw-dropping as I expected it to be, I would rather start with Adam's topic, the judge who ruled in favor of Epic Games on its Unreal Engine developer tools. Take us away, Adam.
That's actually my topic, sir.
Oh, you're right. I am totally sorry.
I was like, I said that? That was my topic?
You know what? I wish I just wouldn't have said anything and let Adam be like, yeah, Adam, what are your thoughts on this?
What are your thoughts on this?
I would have been like, it's interesting.
Guys, I told you I'm pretty tired this
Philip
week.
is tired.
Yes.
It's a true story. Mike, I sincerely apologize. Please tell us about your topic.
Okay. All right. We talked about this, I believe, last week or the week before, but about Epic getting Fortnite off of the Apple Store because they were kind of bypassing the Apple Store as far as transactions. Anyway, I'm using this as a way, as just a thought, really. Like, because right now there's 2 huge phone companies. It's Apple and Android, right? And each take a slice of the pie when somebody uses their store and does transactions through them. Do you think Microsoft could come in and just allow these companies to just say, hey, use us. We won't charge you anything. Like, and they could just Microsoft can just sell their handheld devices. You know what I mean? Like
Microsoft already have phones, though, right? And they
but they're not as popular.
And they use Android software to run on them, right?
No, they use Windows software.
Oh,
it's
they
Windows.
Do? Okay.
Yeah, but it's not. I'm talking about like just an actual like gaming device because this would go great with their Game Pass stuff because like you can already play Game Pass on Android and Apple. You would have to get another device, I guess, just to play the games. But I think it'll bring more gaming companies over just because there'd be no store that would take their like something. They're basically making money off people buying these handheld devices than taking money away from the game developers.
So you're suggesting a Microsoft Game Boy is what you're suggesting?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I think it'd be like this is a great time for them to come in with all this stuff going on with Epic and Apple, just to like come and save the day for gamers and game developers.
Interesting. So my opinion, I always want to be honest with the show and our listeners, and I try to always be reasonable in everybody's opinion, but this is one where I have to say, Mike, I completely disagree. I don't want to see Microsoft make their own handheld, and I don't think they will make their own handheld. I just don't think there's a market for this kind of thing anymore. I think the fact that phones are powerful enough, especially with cloud gaming, to do everything that you need to do already,
Right.
Microsoft are going to put all of their energy in finding a solution with what's out there already. If that means bolstering their own phone line, I could see that happening. But
Yeah, I guess even that would be fine too, as long as it's something that just they don't know, like companies don't have to worry about somebody taking the money that they're getting from people doing microtransactions. I guess, like if they like Microsoft wants to like use their phones as this, I'd be totally down. I would get a Windows phone.
yeah, I'd definitely jump on a Windows phone too. I mean, I've thought about it, or even a Razer phone, but I think Razer uses, I don't know what their
It's an
software.
Android.
Yeah, I was thinking it's an Android as well. I don't know. I'd be interested to see. I mean, what are your thoughts, Adam or Mike, on the ethics of what these phone companies are doing?
I personally
I
don't like
think
the what do you call it, the fee for the microtransactions. Like they get a piece of it, because to me, the developers need to make their money, and like to just kind of pass it along to Apple or Android or whatever. It's just, it kind of sucks. But I mean, I get it. They're using their platform, and so the platform wants to make a little bit off of what they're making. But at the same time, I don't see it as being right.
Right. Yeah, I'm the same there. I just think that we just Microsoft can just cut out the middleman.
Yeah.
Like here, we'll have this our Windows phone. It can be a phone, and you can play your games on it, and it has Game Pass on it. Like they're just set up perfectly to do that.
Yeah, I mean, so I just want to be a little bit fair here. I mean, we're very much entrenched in our own console ecosystems. If you buy any third-party game on the PlayStation Store or on the Xbox Store, Microsoft or Sony, whichever one you purchased from, are getting a cut. The same if you buy a game on Steam. I mean, that's how Valve makes. I mean, that's how they made billions. I mean, they made themselves a huge company through Steam, and that's providing
Right.
a storefront, an organized storefront for these people to congregate on and sell their games. There are other places like trying to think with that one, something with a G. I'm not a big PC person. Mike, maybe you can help me out here.
Something with a G. Origin?
No, it's another place where you can buy games from. It's gonna drive me crazy.
It's just you go get keys from them.
Yeah.
Right. Game.
I'll remember it later.
I don't use them because they're kind of shady, I think. So I don't really.
They seem like they might be. I want to say it was like Gal or something. I don't know. I'm going crazy here. Correct me. Some listener, please write in, correct me, and I'll read it out next week. And then also, Epic itself has its own store on PC now as well. And when you go in there and you sell a game on that, they do get a cut. And so I think, if I'm going to be fair here, I think really it's not about a platform that solely has no cut to it. I think it's just about how much Apple take. I mean, they're taking something like 30%, which is crazy. That's a huge number that they're taking, and they can do that because I mean, like you said, there's basically two phone companies. They have a complete monopoly on it. If you want to put your game out there, you have no choice. Because it's not like PC where you can go and say, you know what, I'm tired of paying Steam. I'm going to go create the Epic Store. You can't do that on Apple. You cannot do that on Android. So they have a complete monopoly and control over it, and then they charge an exorbitant amount on developers. And I think that's really the crux of why these companies, these other big tech companies, are getting so frustrated. But it is intriguing to see these massive tech corporations within the United States battling it out. But as we said last week, Apple have more than doubled their company's value since COVID-19 started. So, I mean, they're kind of really in a position of power, which is remarkable, even when you consider that you're talking about a company like Microsoft even standing up to them. And yet we're saying Apple is in a position of power to be able to do that. So intriguing stuff.
Yeah. The only thing, like, also, like, how is this going to affect, like, how is it affecting, like, the smaller developers? the ones that don't have that cash, they can just like, okay, you can take 30% of this, And also, like, are the let's say on the Xbox, the Microsoft Store, are they taking, like, for every microtransaction, you're saying they're taking off the top of that as well for microtransactions, like not just buying the game, but every purchase.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the store.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Every dollar that you transfer through that store, whether it's Sony Store or Microsoft Store, they are getting some portion of it. I don't remember what it is, maybe like 5% or something like that. I want to say it's in single digits, but it's definitely they're definitely getting a cut off.
Somebody's getting paid.
Exactly.
Okay, but 30%, like we all agree, that's a lot, right?
That's a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's all I had on that. I just really want a Windows phone and a reason to buy one, so that's why I brought it up.
I respect this. I absolutely respect this. I am very disappointed also that my iPhone is not currently going to allow me to use Game Pass Ultimate on my phone. Disappointing, to say the least. Okay, that's all we have for that topic. This time I will send it to Adam. I know this is your topic because it's not mine, and I know it's not Mike's because he just did his. So there's no way you guys can fool me this time. Live action Resident Evil announced. Adam, take it away.
Well, how do you feel about zombie shows? Like, are you tired of it yet?
I'm getting there. Actually, I'm so tired of it, I never started watching them.
Okay. Well, lucky for you, Resident Evil has been announced for a Netflix live-action miniseries.
Yeah.
So yet another zombie show to watch. It turns out that, it was kind of leaked in February because someone accidentally put the description out there on Netflix. It wasn't supposed to be out there at that point, but they finally released it on the NX on Netflix Twitter account. They showed the script for episode 1. And long story short, there's going to be 2 timelines in this miniseries. So it's going to fall along the same lines as Once Upon a Time on ABC. Do you remember watching that? Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be the exact same thing. So if you're not paying attention, you're going to get lost real quick.
Okay.
But long story short, the 14-year-old sisters, Jade and Billy, are going to be in the first timeline. And then second timeline, they're going to be 30 years old. So there's a 16-year gap in between each timeline. And the last names of these main characters are Wesker, which is the same last name as the longtime Resident Evil antagonist, Albert Wesker. So they're making sure to keep this true to the franchise. But what I'm worried about is how many more game adaptations on top of zombie shows are we going to get? Like, not just on Netflix, but also like on regular TV and just movies and everything else.
I think as long as they think they can make money off of it, they were going to get them.
Yeah.
And people will watch them.
But, like, if they keep sucking, then, like, what is the point?
So,
I mean, I'm not... Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I would disagree that they're sucking, though. I mean, Netflix now, if you look at the Castlevania series, the Castlevania animated series, and then the Witcher series, which we talked about earlier on the show, they have proven with those 2 series to be able to make fantastic video game adaptations. If you
they're animated, though, aren't they?
No, The Witcher's live action, Castlevania is animated, so you have one of each. If you have not seen the Castlevania series, I think there's 3 seasons on there now. It is a superb show. And again, I already talked about The Witcher. Absolutely love that show series. I've actually watched, I very, very rarely ever rewatch a TV show. I've rewatched The Witcher TV show twice. I think it is able to stand up on its own because of that. So honestly, I'm not even that huge of a Resident Evil fan, but when I saw this and I saw Netflix doing another live action show, I thought, I think we might have our best Resident Evil adaptation. Of course, there's like a million Mila Jovovich. Jovanovic, thank you. I can't pronounce names at all tonight, guys. I mean, it's brutal.
It's pretty bad.
I'm surprised I got your names right. But we have like a million.
Not.
Well, no, I got your names right at the start of the show. I just got your topics flipped, so
Exactly.
easy
There you
now. We've had a million Resident Evil movies, and I think this could be the best Resident Evil adaptation that we've seen so far. It sounds like they're going to do an interesting story. Those movies typically are like way outside the bounds of the video game. So this looks like they're going to do an interesting story in the Resident Evil video game universe. So I don't know. I'm positive for it.
We also have live action adaptations of shows like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
but Dragon Ball Z, like, unless you're talking about the animated show, I mean, basically everything else around it is not particularly great.
Exactly, that's my point. Is like I need to see something before I can say, okay, I'll give it a chance. Because right now I'm just like, another one, really.
I'll check it out, just because. I mean, I've never played a Resident Evil game, but I'm a sucker for some horror TV shows. So
you should definitely play the Resident Evil Director's Cut. Oh my god, like that thing will scare the poop out of you. Well,
if I ever have too much cheese, I'll know what to do.
Yeah, if I ever need an enema, I'll just go play Resident Evil Director's Cut. I'm positive. I'm positive on this. I've seen a lot of good stuff from Netflix recently when it comes to video game adaptations, and I'm positive on this one. I really am. Now, I do agree with you that the zombie thing is getting a little worn, a little long in the tooth. It almost turned me away from playing The Last of Us. Literally outside of anything else with it, just the idea of doing another zombie game had me a little on edge on the fence on whether or not I'd even play that one. So I do respect that. I think the Resident Evil thing is a little bit more interesting because it's that virus that they have in that game.
Yeah,
the T virus.
Yeah, so it's not like I don't know. I find it a little bit more interesting because it turns these things into like actual monsters and stuff. Like it's a little bit more than just The Walking Dead. But yeah, I feel you. I'm positive. I'm gonna be the positive person on this topic here. I'm intrigued to see what Netflix will do with Resident Evil live action.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested too, but like I'm holding off my official judgment until I see something. But until then, all I'm going to say is that the first and second Resident Evil movie had the best soundtrack. That's where I'm leaving it. That goes to show you how much I'm giving like a chance for the series.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll go to what I'm going to be negative about. Just some negativity here from me, followed by negativity from Adam. Gamescom, our third topic. I had it as our number one, thinking there'd be a lot here. In the end, I thought this was long. I thought it was bloated. I didn't think that there was anything tremendously exciting out of the show. Having said that, I really appreciate what Jeff Keighley's trying to do. I really appreciate that we saw a well-produced show, although there were some instances of in-home recording with a microphone that didn't seem to go particularly well. I mean, these guys are devs and they are wearing what looks like, the headset that came with the Xbox One while they're trying to do their interview for 2013, but whatever, it's fine. It is what it is. So I'll just jump right into this show, and you guys hop in whenever there's something you want to say on this. I'm going to be pretty loose, but also pretty quick here. So it started off with a pre-show, about 20 minutes of a pre-show, not much in here of note. The thing that I'm going to pluck out of this, though, that I thought was excessively weird was this team Fordzilla. So apparently Ford Motor Company has designed a car in conjunction with gamers for gamers. I don't know what that means. They showed off this crazy like Hot Wheels looking hypercar that didn't look all that great to me. And then they're like, yeah, so this is super cool. Project P1 models here. Didn't say what they're doing with it. Like, is it going to be in a game? Like, why have you built this 3D model? And then they're like, oh, and we're going to make a real one. Like, yeah.
Were they selling a car?
This was like, remember when you talked about Bugatti Veyrons? This is like that. So I don't know what gamer can afford one of those, because most gamers I know are broke from all the video games they buy. So anyway, moving on, we got into the show proper, and they opened up with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. They talked about how it's a direct sequel to Black Ops and takes place in the year 1981. Interestingly, they added that it will have branching story choices. So you will make choices within the game, and based on the choices that you make in the campaign, you will have multiple different endings to see. And that they will also have character creation at the start of the campaign. So you will create your own character, customize them like an RPG, basically, and then play through this first-person Hollywood blockbuster story in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Then they jumped into a trailer, and I wrote in really big capital letters, "Really cool story trailer with Ronald Reagan? What?" So yeah, I was hyped about this. I said it already. I don't really know what it is. It's not like I have some personal affinity for Ronald Reagan, the president. It's just I thought it was super cool that they were, instead of badass general that talks in a big voice like this and it's like, "Oh, get him, son." It was the president of the United States, like in this meeting room with these clandestine CIA agents. So I thought that was really cool touch there.
That was pretty cool. They didn't do that in Black Ops 1. I don't remember. Like, there wasn't a scene with the president at all in there, was there?
Yeah, I really don't remember.
It's been a long time. I don't remember seeing the president because it was Nixon at the time on Black Ops 1 time.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I can't remember exactly what year Black Ops 1 takes place, but yeah, so I don't know. I was more intrigued than I was when we first heard this game announced. I mean, as I've told you, my guilty gaming pleasure is the Black Ops game, or is the not just Black Ops, is the Call of Duty games. I've played every single one of them this generation except for Black Ops 4 because they didn't do a campaign. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys know I will play this game because it is my guilty pleasure. What can I say? So we'll see. I'll let y'all know if it's worth it. How about that?
Sounds good.
Sounds fair to me.
All right. The next thing I want to pull out is they showed the story and gameplay trailer for the Ancient Gods Part 1. This is the first DLC for Doom Eternal. And they give a release date, 10/20. So October 20th of this year, you can get that and play it. Looked really cool. Looks a lot like more Doom. So if you really like Doom Eternal, go check this out. Then the next thing I want to pull out was Dragon Age. They talked a little bit about the next Dragon Age. They didn't really show any gameplay or anything. What they showed was a bunch of developers talking about the game and what's happening with it and why they think it's cool. And they showed a bunch of concept art pictures. And then they showed some bits of, in development, somebody's working on his computer and he's doing a little thing and you can see like the gray blocks, but you can see a character moving around and a boss, making his attack and stuff, so some of that kind of behind the scenes stuff is really all they showed. The thing that I plucked out of it though was that it looks like it's going to be a third-person action adventure game as opposed to Dragon Age Inquisition, which felt a little more isometric, like a Diablo game. This seems to me that it's going back more towards the Dragon Age 2 type control and camera view. So that's the one thing that I plucked out of this that seemed a little bit interesting for Dragon Age. Still very far off, though, it seems. All right. The next item that I was going to touch on, I think this might be, if I had to guess, one item that caught your interest the most, Mike, World of Warcraft Shadowlands. The next WoW expansion. They talked about the Afterlife's Bastion. It seems like when you die, however you handled yourself throughout the game, your character's going to die, and it's going to have some branching things that happen, whether you go to this Bastion or somewhere else, I guess. I don't know. Maybe, Mike, you know more about it. But I wrote in even bigger letters than the Ronald Reagan thing, this story trailer is fucking sick. So this was probably the thing that I thought was coolest looking in the whole thing. I'm like, just give me a WoW movie of the cutscenes, and I'll be good, because I don't really like playing this game. But
you talking about that story thing that kind of released that video, right?
It was like 5 minutes or 7 minutes long, and this dude
Yeah,
like goes to heaven and he can't get over the thing, and this angel's
yeah.
like trying to train him, and then they
Hmm.
find out that his soul has been pierced by the sword, and they like try to go against the high council, and then the council's like, no, you need to stop this, and they're like, fuck it, we're going to Earth and we're gonna kill some shit. I was like, this is cool. I don't know what this is, but this is awesome to watch.
That
Let me just have that.
that is the story of that was Uther, and the guy that stabbed him with the sword was Arthas. He was no one Arthas anymore. He was the Lich King, and the sword he used was Frostmourne, and that is like by far my favorite story in the Warcraft universe. Like whenever I heard they're making a movie, I'm like, oh, I hope they, for some reason, just instead of like starting from the beginning, just kind of go in the middle and take one of the most interesting stories. But of course that didn't happen, and look where we are now. Because like the first Warcraft movie was just, I mean, it was entertaining for somebody who like enjoys the universe, but if you get somebody that doesn't know anything about it, it can be kind of boring, I think. But yeah, this Bastion afterlife thing that you saw, like that is like the guy that did the stabbing. He's one of my favorite characters in the Warcraft universe. Arthas the Death Knight, Lich King.
So they also gave a release date at the end of this, October 27th. Is that the first time you've seen this release date for this expansion?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, this was
last time just said it was going to be in the fall. That's the last I heard. This is the first time I heard a date.
Okay. So October 27th, if you're a WoW-head, Shadowlands is going to launch. So I will look for the YouTube movie of the cutscenes. And that,
dude, I will send you a link of every single cutscene from Vanilla WoW all the way to present.
How long does that YouTube video?
It's about an hour.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. It's a lot of cutscenes. It's a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah, but they got to be like 2 minutes long. I mean, so let's put this into perspective. I'm sorry, I'm going to diverge here for just a second because this is The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2 alone has almost 9 hours worth of cutscenes if you cut it all together.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm sorry. It's 6 hours, 7 minutes.
WoW has been going for like 30 years. I mean, and you're going to tell me that that's all the cutscenes they have?
It's 6 hours, 7 minutes.
Wow. Okay, well,
in our chat.
I can watch that. That's not too bad. All right. Excellent.
That's 6 hour movie. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. I'm going to jump on quite a bit farther into the show. They showed some Crash 4, which was cool. They showed a couple new Warhammer games, which looked interesting. Little Nightmares 2, which looked absolutely terrifying. Fuck that game. I am not playing that. If I want an enema, maybe I'll try it out, as Adam so graphically described the Resident Evil game. They showed some more Battlegrounds. They showed some more Squadrons, which was interesting. So the next thing I starred here, the Sims. There's a new Sims game pack coming. It's called Journey to Batuu. It's based on the Disney World Galaxy's Edge theme park section, where I don't know if you guys have been there, but it's this whole Star Wars land within Disneyland and Disney World. So this new game pack is based on that, with that sort of that theme park and some of those skins and things like that you can build in the Sims. It's coming out September 8th, so that's not too far away. I'm not a Sims player, but I do love Star Wars, so I wanted to mention it. Then moving on, speaking of Star Wars, that game 12 Minutes that was announced at the Xbox show earlier this year apparently is going to have Daisy Ridley voicing in it, so that's kind of cool. Daisy Ridley, of course, played Rey. That game will also have James McAvoy and Willem Dafoe, which is crazy. That's a lot of actor talent in that game. Such a small game. There's more from Godfall, more from Warframe, Mafia Definitive Edition. Again, it just there wasn't much to any of this. Little trailers here and there, nothing too exciting about any one of them. The next thing I've starred here, Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. They dated it October 15th. There was a rumor that this was going to happen, so this is cool. October 15th is not far away, and guess what? It's a Game Pass game on PC. So Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition is coming out. They've added 2 new civilizations, the Incas and the Swedes, and also 2 new game modes, historic battles, and Art of War challenge battles. So this is a PC only game. Obviously, Age of Empires has been PC only for its entire life, but looks pretty neat. It looks a lot better.
Do you like RTS games?
Not really. I get into them every now and then, but ultimately I get too stressed out by the management aspect of what's happening on the map, and it's not relaxing to me to as a game to play. But I do respect them tremendously. My dad and my brother are huge Age of Empires fans, so
cool.
Yeah,
that's something to play with.
Yeah, ask Connor about it. All right. The next thing that I was going to pull out here, Little Hope, is the next game in the Dark Pictures Anthology, and it is going to launch October 30th. So look for that. Dark Pictures Anthology, of course, is the new games coming from the studio that did Until Dawn, which was like an interactive horror game for PlayStation 4. So Until Dawn got pretty high critical acclaim, but Man of Medan, the first of the Dark Pictures Anthology games, was mediocre. So we'll see what Little Hope brings on October 30th. And then the next to last thing that I'm going to highlight, Fall Guys Season 2, probably the biggest news considering the hype around that game right now that the show had. Season 2 will have all new rounds inspired by the Middle Ages and also medieval style costumes. Looked kind of cool. I still am not convinced by this game, but it is now the most downloaded PlayStation Plus game in the history of PlayStation Plus as a service, even more so than Rocket League. So a lot of hype around this game. A weird intersection here with Fall Guys, given its popularity. The most I've seen about it is actually from a Formula One driver that I like to follow who does a lot of game streaming. Typically he streams, why I started watching him was he streams a lot of iRacing and F1 2019, but he would also play a little bit of Call of Duty from time to time. Well, he's big into Fall Guys, and he's been talking about it a lot, so much so that I think this is literally the first time I've ever seen this happen. At the press conferences today in Belgium for this weekend's race, Lando Norris got asked about Fall Guys instead of about his preparations for the race this weekend by the press. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting little cross happening there with the popularity of Fall Guys. So if that's something you're into, Season 2, they did not give a date. They said they're still in the final bits of development for that, but expected soon, probably within, I don't know, next month or two.
Yeah, probably next month. I'm trying to get into that game, but I want to be able to talk trash to some friends while I'm playing it.
I guess I'm gonna have to download it on PC. That's probably what we should have done last night instead of playing Sea of Thieves. But what can you do?
Yeah,
so it's just the way of things. All right, and then the final thing that I wanted to mention, the show closed on a nice long gameplay demo of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is one of the PS5 exclusive games that Sony announced a couple months ago. The demo looked really cool, but the thing that I've struggled with is they're like, we could never have made this game for PS4, and you're going to see why in this gameplay demo, and I didn't see it. They want to tout the fact that you're going through these rifts and how there's these different worlds that you go to instantly loaded, no loading screens. And yeah, that probably is true that you could only do that because of the SSD and the PlayStation 5.
Right.
I recognize that's probably a true statement, but the fact is that was not like a gameplay mechanic that you're doing. It was something to do with the level that you were going through itself. And later, Jeff Keighley asked one of the developers how that was going to be implemented in the game, and they looked like they kind of didn't want to answer it, but they said, this is not something that's going to happen all the time. It's going to be, tied to key moments in the game. So outside of that, I mean, it looked like the Ratchet and Clank game on PS4, and so I'm still not convinced as to what next gen is going to bring us in terms of leaps and bounds for games. But nevertheless, it does look cool. I am a fan of Ratchet and Clank. I am excited for the game, regardless of whether or not it's selling me on next gen. So I don't know what you guys thought of that trailer there at the end, if you even made it to the end, because it was tough.
I
did not make it to the end.
So there you go.
I was basically Homer Simpson inside the nuclear plant at that point.
It was tough. They definitely should have kept the show down around the hour to hour and 15 mark. It would have been a lot better. But nevertheless, it is what it is. They did talk about one little thing that sounded interesting. They have like a double barrel shotgun in Ratchet and Clank. And he said that you can actually feel when the first shell is being shot. So you can like stop your finger and then wait to pull the second shot for when you're ready for it. So
that's cool.
That's part of the the trigger feedback that they have in the controller now. So that could be interesting. We'll see if these gimmicks are used beyond launch games. Which, speaking of that, they tried to ask them for a date on the show. They said, well, we'll commit to launch window. So there's various opinions on what that means, but that I think is anywhere within 6 months of the launch of console. So if you had to ask me to put money on it, I would say that this game will be March or April of next year. Look for it.
Right on.
So that's all. I mean, that's it for Gamescom. Nothing, like I said, we were just, audience, to give you an idea, we were debating in the chat earlier today as to whether or not we would want to break out Gamescom as its own show.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. That's how much of a letdown we went from what we thought we were going to get before the show to where we are now.
Unless there's something amazing happens the next couple of days, but I don't think so.
Yeah. So that's all I got for that. I mean, did you guys have anything you wanted to throw in on Gamescom?
Nope. I'm curious to see what else is going to happen, but that's pretty much it. I have nothing going. Like, to be honest, only watched the Gamescom stuff for the WoW aspect of it, and that's pretty much it. Maybe the Black Ops intrigued me just a little bit, but yeah, I mainly just watched it for the WoW stuff.
Understandable. Adam, any closing thoughts there?
Nope.
I didn't think so. All right, let's move on to upcoming games for this week. I've added in the little clips about each game. I'm going to try it out this week. If people don't like it, just let me know. But I thought maybe it might be nice to add a little bit about the game. It's just a one-sentence teaser about each game. But let me know if you like or dislike this little added benefit to the upcoming games that I have here. So let's start with Madden NFL. Man, I am just all over the place tonight. I'll tell you what I really think of these games. Anyway, Madden NFL MVP Edition coming out August 25th for PS4 and Xbox One. A new generation is leaving its mark on the NFL. Will you rise to the occasion, change the game, and take control of your own legacy? Project Cars 3, also on August 25th, PS4, Xbox One. Live every thrill of your journey from weekend warrior to racing legend as you race to own, and upgrade hundreds of precise handling elite brand cars. I bought both Project Cars 1 and 2. I don't think I'm going to get this one. I think they've been failing a little bit on this front. So I'll kind of wait and see what other people are saying before I jump in on this one. Also, August 25th, Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR experience. So this game's already out on the Oculus platform. I can't remember which one. One of the other PC platforms. But this is the release for PSVR. Escape Darth Vader's fortress on Mustafar and learn the secrets it holds in Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series from ILM Cross Lab. I'm actually really excited about this one. I've already purchased it. I'm going to try to check this out this weekend. I'll let y'all know what I think. Next, on August 27th, so that would be today, we've got a few games here. Tell Me Why, Chapter 1. On Xbox One and Xbox Game Pass. Tell Me Why is the latest narrative adventure game from Don't Nod Entertainment, the studio behind the beloved franchise Life is Strange. What a tremendously descriptive one sentence there from Don't Nod. This is a visual storytelling game similar to the Walking Dead or any of those games from, what was that studio? Mike, help me out here. They're defunct now.
Telltale? No.
Telltale. Yeah.
That's what Telltale.
Yeah,
Telltale's
thank
is
you.
from Sea of Thieves.
Yep. Thank you. So
Yeah.
similar game style to that. Also, August 27th, The Last Campfire, PS4 and Xbox One. The Last Campfire is an adventure, a story of a lost ember trapped in a puzzling place, searching for meaning and a way home. Also, August 27th, Hypnospace Outlaw. This is a PS4 and Xbox One and Switch game. Also, Xbox Game Pass. Hypnospace Outlaw is a 90s internet simulator in which you scour Hypnospace's wide variety of weird and wonderful websites to hunt down wrongdoers. Next, coming out tomorrow, we've got a few more games here. Wasteland 3, PS4 and Xbox One. Also an Xbox Game Pass game. Wasteland 3 is a post-apocalyptic RPG from In Exile Entertainment featuring challenging tactical combat, hours of exploration, and a deep reactive story. This game was already in development before In Exile was bought by Microsoft, so this probably will be the last In Exile game on PlayStation consoles. It's getting great reviews right now. So if you got Game Pass, you can go check this out. This is a turn-based style RPG similar to Gears Tactics or XCOM. All right, Double Kick Heroes, August 28th. Also PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Also Xbox Game Pass. So this is our fourth game coming out this week that is on Game Pass. So see here, we're checking out some more value with this service. Mm-hmm. Double Kick Heroes, The Ambassador Fractured Timelines is a twin-stick fantasy shooter center. I think I might have copied the wrong little line here for Double Kick Heroes. So we'll come back to this in just a second. Our last game on the list, also out tomorrow, Madden NFL Standard Edition. So if you wanted to play 3 days early, you had to get the digital extra whatever deluxe mania pay me more money edition. All right, so I've got one last little bit for everybody. It's going to be called About That Game. Mike, Adam, I was going to give each of you a title of a new release game for this week, and I would want you to tell me what that game is about. Wrong answers only. Since I screwed up Double Kick Heroes, I will give you an example. So Double Kick Heroes is actually the story of a pair of legs that are trekking across this wasteland, Arizona. Pair of legs. That's it. That's all they are. Just two legs. They're not even connected. They're just two legs that hop along next to each other, crossing this wasteland, Arizona, and they meet all these different zombies as they're coming across the wasteland, and they fight them. They join up, and they do their karate kick ninja stuff as they're going along, hopping along. And, when you build up your meter, you can actually set off your super where the legs actually join together and go ham on these zombies out there in the middle of Arizona. Not a particularly long game, but still visually, what a sight to see these two legs split at the crotch fighting zombies. All right,
is that the game?
No, I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
That's the point of this. You're supposed to tell me what this game is about, but wrong answers only. I have no idea what Double Kick Heroes is about. All right, Mike, your game for this week.
Yes.
Giraffe and Annika. What is this game about?
All right. Annika is a little boy, and he has a dog named Giraffe. Okay. And now what you're doing is like a platformer, and you're riding Giraffe, and you're actually going to go try to find your dog. I'm sorry. You're going to go try to find your giraffe named Dog. And it's a platformer, and you get to fight off like little zombie dudes by biting their heads off. That's it. That's the game.
Wait, so
it's about 30 minutes long.
Who's doing the head biting? Is it Annika or
no? It's Giraffe the dog is biting off the heads.
Oh wow. Okay, so you have a dog and a giraffe. Your dog is named Giraffe. Your giraffe is named Dog.
Go find it. Exactly. Yes, it's very confusing.
Is there some second part to the game after you rescue Giraffe where you get to go around and you get to command your dog and your giraffe that are named the opposite things to bite heads off zombies?
Yes.
That is epic.
And that's the sequel is you're going to go find your cat that's actually a hippo.
Excellent. Well, I think I might have to go check out Giraffe and Annika.
It's only
Alright.
30 minutes long, so
Oh yeah, that's no problem. I can do that.
The issue is it's $100 for the game. So.
I don't know about that. That seems overpriced. All right, Adam, tell me, what is Hexagroove Tactical DJ about?
Hexagroove is the name of a DJ who is thrown into the midst of a zombie apocalypse, since we're apparently doing zombie themed stuff. And like every time he starts doing that, a zombie comes out, and so he's like, oh crap, and so he has to get his tactical discs records, and he just like chunks it and like straight up headshots everybody, and he's like, Hexagroove, that's his only word that he says. And so that's why his name is Hexagroove, because that's all he knows how to say. And so he realized, he's like Hexagroove, and it's like a generalized meaning for everything. Like, I need to go to the bathroom, Hexagroove. Anyways,
okay,
he realizes that he just killed his entire audience, and so he's like, I need to find more audience. And so instead of saying that, he'll say Hexagroove, and so he'll leave the building, and he decides to walk down the street, and like every person that he sees, he thinks is a zombie. So he says Hexagroove and throws a record, and like every time he throws it, he screams out Hexagroove, not knowing exactly what's going on. So
wow.
Is this like a tower defense game? You just stay in one spot on your DJ platform, just flinging records out?
It is basically a Grand Theft Auto style zombie apocalypse, but also like a mass murderer type game.
All right.
Okay.
There you go. Is it top down like the original Grand Theft Autos?
No, it's an 8-bit.
Awesome.
Jesus.
Wow. All right. Well, there you have it. Go check out Giraffe and Annika, Hexagroove, the Tactical DJ, and Double Kick Heroes. Wrong answers only.
Available on Steam.
Available on Steam. All right, that's all we have for you tonight. I thought it was a great episode. Maybe a touch long, but nevertheless, we gave you good content. What more can you ask for from us? Thank you, everyone, for listening to this here, the 6th episode of the Tricast Gaming Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Remember to like, subscribe, review on your podcasting app of choice. If you have questions, DM us on Twitter or Facebook. And please, I must have had a bajillion corrections in the show. Let me know what I got wrong. Madam 21. Let me know how that one plays out. We will be back again next Friday with episode number 7. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Game hard.
Later, guys.